After I admitted that the life I was maintaining might not be the life I wanted anymore, I started with the most practical place in my home, the kitchen, because that is where money leaves quietly every single week. Not a renovation, not new cabinets, not a fancy appliance. If I had to start my whole kitchen over at 52 with only $200, what would I buy first, and what would I leave sitting on the shelf? So today, I am building the kitchen I would choose now. A kitchen that feeds me, stops takeout, fits a small home, and does not waste money on gadgets that sit in the cabinet pretending to be useful. The final total is not even $200. It comes to about $190, depending on your thrift stores and local prices. And number one is the real reason this little kitchen works when life is busy and money is tight. First rule, I would spend the first $17 on food, not tools. That surprises people, but an empty kitchen with nice pans still cannot make dinner when you come home tired. For that first $17, I want cooking oil, rice, dry beans, flour, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. Nothing fancy, just the backbone of cheap meals, the things that turn water and heat into dinner. With those few things, I can make beans and rice, soup, cornbread, pancakes, gravy, fried rice, and a dozen simple dinners before I ever think about a gadget or a matching set of anything. That is the first test of a frugal kitchen. Can it stop one takeout night this week? If it can, it has already started paying me back one ordinary dinner at a time. Next, I would buy one good knife, not a block of 12 knives. One chef's knife that actually cuts cleanly and makes dinner prep feel possible instead of irritating. The one I priced is about $43, which sounds high until you compare it to a $150 knife block, where you use the same two knives over and over while the rest gather dust. A dull knife makes cooking feel harder than it is. It turns an onion into a wrestling match and makes you want to close the drawer and order pizza even when there is food in the house. At 52, I do not need more tools. I need the right tool to make me less tired before dinner even starts, because that is when most of us quit. Now for the cooking foundation. I would spend about $42 on the tools that actually touch heat every week. A cast iron skillet, 2 sheet pans, a saucepan, and a stock pot. The cast iron skillet is for eggs, cornbread, potatoes, chicken, and anything that needs a good brown edge. It earns its shelf space because it does 5 jobs and asks for very little in return. The sheet pans are for roasted potatoes, sausage, vegetables, chicken thighs, toast, biscuits, and the fastest tired evening dinner I know, with almost no cleanup. The saucepan handles oatmeal, rice, gravy, and small soups. The stock pot handles beans, chili, pasta, broth, and anything I want to eat for 3 days without thinking about dinner again. Here is where the $200 kitchen gets smart. I would buy some things used and some things new, and I would not feel guilty about either choice, because smart kitchens are not built on pride. Used stainless steel pots are fine if the handles are tight and the bottoms are not warped. Used glass baking dishes are fine if there are no chips or cracks and the price is right. I would never buy a scratched nonstick pan secondhand. That is not thrift. That is buying someone else's problem and putting it on your stove just because it was cheap. So my used pile is simple. Saucepan, stock pot, Pyrex baking dish, muffin tin, a few utensils, mason jars, plates, bowls, mugs, and flatware. About $31 if you shop patiently and refuse to panic buy the first thing you see. The things I buy new are the things that touch raw food, hold bacteria, or protect my safety. Cutting board, sponges, towels, can opener, peeler, measuring cups, and storage. Not glamorous, but safe. A basic plastic cutting board set is enough. It does not need to be beautiful. It needs to sit flat, wash clean, and be replaced when it gets too cut up, because some things are meant to be replaced. This is one of the lessons I wish I had learned earlier. Frugal does not mean used everything. Frugal means knowing where used saves money and where new saves trouble, time, and sometimes your health. For storage, I would skip the pretty matching container set. I would buy a stack of deli containers and thrift a few glass jars for the things that do not need perfect matching lids. Professional kitchens use simple containers because they stack, freeze, wash, and disappear into each other. They are not cute, but they work, and working matters more than matching. That storage section costs about $13, and if it saves even one container of soup from going bad in the back of the fridge, it earns its place before it ever looks pretty. If this kind of practical, no-nonsense setup is helpful, a quick subscribe helps me keep making these. Now let me tell you what I would absolutely skip at first, because this is where budgets disappear. I would skip the air fryer. I would skip the Instant Pot. I would skip the stand mixer, the knife block, the garlic press, and the expensive storage set, at least until the kitchen has proven what it actually needs. Not because those things are evil. Some people use them every day. But in a $200 kitchen, every tool has to fight for its space and its dollar, and most gadgets lose that fight in month one. Your oven is the original air fryer. A $6 sheet pan gives you crispy potatoes, roasted vegetables, chicken, toast, biscuits, and leftovers brought back to life without another appliance crowding the counter. A bowl and wooden spoon can mix pancake batter. A knife can mince garlic. A stock pot can cook beans. The question is not, is the gadget useful? The question is it first when I only have $200? The only small appliance I would add in month one is a used slow cooker, and I would keep it around $10, and I would test it before bringing it home. At 52, I know my energy matters as much as my money. A slow cooker turns dry beans, cheap meat, potatoes, and vegetables into dinner while I am doing something else, or while I simply do not have the energy to hover over a stove. That matters on the nights when you are tired enough to spend $35 just so someone else will make dinner appear, fees and tip included. For dishes, I would not buy a big matching dinnerware set. 4 plates, 4 bowls, 4 mugs, and a small bundle of flatware is enough for most real homes, especially if you are not hosting 12 people every Sunday. I like thrifted Corelle because it is light, strong, and easy on older hands, but honestly, mismatched plates are not a failure, they are a philosophy and honestly a relief. Nobody who sits at my table cares if the plates match. They care if the soup is hot, the chair is comfortable, and the conversation is kind and nobody is pretending. One place I will not pretend to be clever is safety. I would spend about $12 on fire extinguisher spray and pot holders, because one accident can erase all the savings. A kitchen that saves money but risks a burn or a grease fire is not frugal, it is careless. My grandmother was thrifty, but she was not foolish, and she respected fire. So let us add it up. Pantry starters, $17, knife, $43, cookware core, $42, used finds, $31, new prep and cleaning basics, $31. That is the part nobody brags about, but everyone uses. Storage, $13, slow cooker, $10, safety, $12, dishes and flatware, $10. That brings the whole working kitchen to about $190, with a little breathing room left. I like that number because it leaves a little room for the truth. Prices change, thrift stores vary, maybe your knife is cheaper, maybe your dish rack costs more. The point is to leave room for real life. The exact receipt matters less than the system. Spend where the tool removes daily friction. Thrift where the item can be cleaned safely. Skip anything that only performs one trick and takes up permanent space. Now here is the math that made me sit back in my chair. If a takeout meal costs even $12 more than cooking at home, this kitchen pays for itself in about 17 skipped meals, which is less dramatic than people think. 17 meals, that is not a year of discipline. That is a few weeks of ordinary dinners where you turn on your own stove instead of opening an app and paying someone else to solve the problem. If you want meals that work with this kind of simple kitchen, I put together my grandmother's kitchen cookbook with 50 meals under $5. I will leave it in the description. But even without the cookbook, this kitchen can make oatmeal, eggs, potato soup, beans and rice, fried rice, chili, cornbread, pancakes, pasta, roasted chicken, and tuna casserole, and enough leftovers to make tomorrow easier. That is the whole point. A frugal kitchen is not the one with the most tools. It is the one that makes ordinary meals feel possible on ordinary days, not just on the days you feel inspired. Because the real enemy is not always laziness. Sometimes it is friction, the dull knife, the missing pot, the container with no lid, the counter so crowded you do not want to start, so the money leaves through convenience. This little $190 kitchen removes those excuses. It gives every basic meal a place to begin and every leftover a place to go, which is half the battle. So if I had to start over at 52, I would not start with a gadget. I would start with a table, a list, a budget, and the question, what actually helps me cook tonight with the energy and money I really have? Every item would have to earn its place, not by looking pretty, not by matching, not by promising convenience, by helping me feed myself without draining my wallet or cluttering my counters. That is what a $200 kitchen really is. Not a poor kitchen, not a temporary kitchen, a kitchen with no passengers, where every item works for its spot. What would you put in your $200 kitchen? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and I know some of you have grandmother tools I have not even thought of, and I want to learn from you too. And next time, I am taking this same idea beyond the kitchen. I am going into my mother's kitchen and showing you what I kept, what I let go, and what changed how I see everything I own, not just what I cook with.